Again, NightMare and Creator, I don't know what it is, but they're like the new Hero and Dark. Where Hero and Dark, they face off like every week in KSL and ESL Asia and ESL Americas. NightMare and Creator, they're very similar. They face off so often in these tournaments. I don't know what it is, but week after week after week, they do compete. They do play so many series, and they're facing off again here in KSL number 43. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, looking for a team, and hopefully he can find one. We have NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator. Here we go. As this should be a much more standard PvP here between these two players. I mean, still aggressive, don't get me wrong, but as you can see here, I don't think anyone is going to try and go gate expand. Like, Classic's playstyle in that last series is kind of what led to his downfall there. Again, being so greedy, baiting out these all-ins, and Estrella was able to snowball out of control with them. Here on Golden Aura, 2 gate openers all around. Standard PvP. Oh. So 2 gate opener out of NightMare, 2 gate opener out of Creator. We'll keep an eye on what starting units do come out. Do we go double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, double Adept? We have options. We do have options here. So now we're just waiting for our Cyber Cores to be thrown down. Our second pylons have been thrown down as well. Creator's in his main base. NightMare's likewise also in his main. So both players, they confirm that there is no proxy, there is no cheese. No aggression yet. This still could lead into one base all-ins, don't get me wrong, but for the time being, everything is looking as it should. Cyber Cores are done, and now we can get into our first 2 units of choice. Creator going double Adept, NightMare following suit here, going double Adept as well. Okay, great minds think alike. Very aggressive builds. For those that are curious, double Adept openers typically lead into aggression just because they're going to be threatening the mineral lines of your opponent, and ideally keeping your opponent busy back at home dealing with those shades. 2 Adepts do one-shot probes, so they do have to be taken seriously. Do need to be taken seriously here. As Adepts are moving out, it's going to be double Adept into double Stalker from NightMare. Meanwhile, we have Creator going double Adept into double Sentry. A safer opener out of Creator, something more robust from NightMare. Creator from here going for his expand. Meanwhile, NightMare yet to confirm as he does move out with his own Adepts, throwing down his own expansion a couple of seconds later, but only by a couple of seconds. The Adepts, they do meet. They do force each other back. Creator coming out on top there in the trade. Does get some extra hits in. And we have NightMare doubling down on the aggression. He's going for a Stargate follow-up. This should be for Oracles, so he's going to have Adepts to harass on the ground and Oracles to harass from the air as well. Just mass aggression here from NightMare. Oh, the Sentry! Oh, Sentry does get caught out. Massive pickoff from NightMare. Oh my god. Again, that Sentry should not have fallen. As we are forced to warp in once again. Getting a 3rd Sentry going. Hallucination does move out. Again, this is the power of a double Sentry follow-up, is that you get a free scout. Hallucination comes in, and we see everything that our opponent has to offer. As we dive into the main base, we do confirm that NightMare did open up Stargate, did delay his Twilight Council, and is investing in Oracles. So Creator, he has the foresight, the wherewithal to prepare for that Oracle harass. 2 Stalkers here in the main, and we have Stalker Sentry in the natural. We are ready for the Oracle aggression. Speaking of, Oracle's moving out. Now, it's only going to be a single Oracle. You can see that behind this, NightMare is indeed going into Blink. So only one single Oracle here for our Protoss player. Or Blue Protoss even. As we are going to be moving out. Dipping in between the bases, catching some transferring workers. We don't quite get any though. We take a lot of hits. Oh my god. We do take a lot of damage. So Oracle is going to be hidden, forced to stay here in the corner of the map. And so far hasn't been worth it. This is a big investment from a creator, and so far from NightMare, and so far 0 damage is done. So a little bit rough there for our blue Protoss. Meanwhile, creator takes a third. Does expand, does focus on his economy, as he does start working towards the rest of his tech. Robo on the way, no gateway explosion. Oracle dips in, does confirm the lack of gateways. NightMare should know that he's safe to expand. Instead, he throws down a third gateway instead. Third gateway in the main. Does delay his Nexus, but should be getting it up and running soon. Should be working towards it. Creator, he checks the triangular third location. Confirms there's nothing there. Confirms the lack of gateways, so he should be aware that the expansion has been taken towards the left-hand side. Should be aware. He has pieced it all together. He has confirmation. Immortal production has commenced. And it's been pretty passive so far, to be honest. It's been a pretty passive game. We saw a little bit of a skirmish with the Adepts earlier, but outside of that, we're just easing into this PvP. NightMare pushing himself up the ramp. Ooh, does catch a Stalker. A couple of Stalkers, actually. Shield Battery trying to help out here. Both players going to be trading decent. Force Field does trap this in, but NightMare, he has a massive Stalker lead. Is forced back, though. We still held on to the overcharge. Creator, he didn't waste it. Very, very bold move here. Very mature from Creator is maybe a better way of putting it. Did not waste the overcharge. Looking at the trades, we had a 5-4 trade. Actually, slightly better for Creator. I assumed that NightMare would be trading and getting more damage done. Ooh, nice bait from Creator as well. Does force back that Oracle. At the same time, the Immortal did take a massive volley. That Immortal very low, but does survive. Did barely survive in the end, and both players are working towards Immortal production. We have Charge on the way. Forge still on the way for Creator, so NightMare will have the upgrade advantage. He has +1 well in production. But Creator did get the slightly faster third. Has been mining slightly more for longer, as we're getting into a pretty comparable economy. And again, the big point of deviation is going to be that +1 timing. On top of that, Creator, he does have an Immortal lead, but what good is an Immortal lead if you have Disruptors? The Bay is on the way. NightMare taking up towards Disruptors. Can he get there in time, though? Now that we're getting on 3-base saturation, both players are working on their massive gateway explosions, and Creator should be pushing soon. And if he hits before Disruptors get up and running, then, I mean, NightMare, he's going to be quite vulnerable. He's going to be vulnerable until that point. But we're taking, we throw down the Templar Archives, 4th base is on the way. Creator isn't pushing. He's posturing with his army, that's true, but he's not committing, he's not warping in, doesn't have a prism to reinforce. So NightMare, he should get away with Disruptors. Ooh, that's a... Oh my god! That's a kill, not a cancel! NightMare, unfortunately, just wasn't able to cancel in time. 400 minerals down the drain. But Disruptors are on the way. Second Robo, double Disruptor production. This is going to be a big power spike for NightMare, and there's a lot of potential. And I want to say potential, like it isn't confirmed. Because, of course, the Novas, they could connect. We could see amazing Novas, or we could miss. And, again, if we are dodged, then Creator, he can snowball out of control with his massive or with his larger Immortal lead instead. A lot is going to be riding on these Disruptors. Is it going to be enough? As we are still just building up. To have a 4th Nexus on the way for both players, well underway for Creator. So again, because he killed the base of his opponents, Creator, he will have the better economy, the larger army as a result. Or he should have the larger army at least. As he is pushing out finally with a Warp Prism. Okay, so when it comes to the compositions, we have a Gateway Army, Zealot Stalker with Disruptors for NightMare. Creator is going for a heavy Charge Lot Archon composition with Stalkers as support. So we'll be diving in. But can he avoid those Novas? That's the question. Does focus on one of these Immortals already. Good pick up there by NightMare. First Nova does get baited out at the same time. We do have a couple of probes falling across the map. Nova goes off. Ooh, good connection. Good connection on the army. Grazes some of those Zealots. We have plenty more Novas here in the chamber. We can send them out. Oh, but that's another kill on the Nexus. The second time it's gone down. Nova forcing even a bit of friendly fire. Creator diving on the army. Ooh, does take another Novus to the face. Decent trades out of NightMare, but again, he lost his 4th for a second time. That's 2 dead Nexi for NightMare. Prism goes down across the map. NightMare did warp in a couple of Zealots, but it's not going to be enough. Ooh, as NightMare did delay his +2 for quite some time. +3 already on the way here for Creator as well. He was a little bit more crisp when it came to his upgrades. Disruptors are still amassing for NightMare. Like, he still has potential. He can still take a fight. We just need some juicy Novas. Can we get them here? As we do have a bit of a Zealot run by coming in. He's shut down. Creator taking a massive lead. Oh my god. That was so risky. Did focus out a Disruptor. Another Nova, not quite going to be going off. Nice snipe there out of Creator. Sniper, good sniper overall. Nova once again only connecting with an Archon. Well, much better connection though. Oh my god. Does take down the Zealots, does take down an Archon. But good target firing here out of Creator over and over again, just focusing down those Disruptors. And now he's arrived with his own. The connection! Massive connection here. The flank is real, and NightMare, he's just falling apart. Once again, that is the 3rd time that Nexus has been killed. He's been perpetually stuck behind a base, stuck on 3 bases. Creator, he's taking a 5th. 5th Nexus on the way. Nova's going off. NightMare, yes, he was the first to rush into Disruptors. He had a massive Disruptor lead, but it was not good enough. The connections, they weren't what he needed. And he could just never hold on to this 4th over and over again. That's the win condition for Creator. Just deny the 4th base as he forces to cancel. Does push on forward. And again, this all came down to the very first denial of this base. The first time it was denied, it did just slow everything down for NightMare. And Creator, he's maxed out. He's maxed out at this point, reinforcing even further. He is forced to engage. NightMare going to try and expand towards the south, but Creator, he's there to stop him. He's there at every turn. And it's going to be denied once again for a 5th time. Novas go up. Novas don't quite connect here. Good target firing out of NightMare. Oh my god, he catches the army. A massive surround here. NightMare taking a very good fight. Creator, he was maxed out and he plummets in supply. Still has a supply lead. But that was the best fight that NightMare could have hoped for. The best fight that he could have gotten. But he's all in. That's the thing. Again, still no 4th base. No expansion from NightMare. He is pushing in. Grazing the army, getting a couple of units with his Novas. A couple of units go down, 12 probes as well. Creator coming from behind, setting up his own surround. Good splits here at a Creator, avoiding disaster. Stasis traps, they do catch some of those Zealots, but we get on top of the Immortals. The Immortals are going down, Disruptors as well. Good target firing at a Creator. We'll lose the 5th. But that was the 5th base of Creator. He can afford to lose it. Doesn't matter, not anymore. He is cornering NightMare. There is no way out. He bleeds out so many Stalkers, and Creator, he sets up the surround. Does come in from a massive flank here. GG gets called, and Creator will take game number 1. GG. GG again. Creator just so on point when it came to his own move outs. Remember, we spoke about it. We spoke about how because we were rushing into disruptors, that was the moment we were most vulnerable. That was the moment when Creator was able to get across the map and get a kill on the Nexus. And after that first kill, he just never let that 4th base up and running. Just containing NightMare perpetually on 3 bases. Could never expand. And with that, Creator does take a 1-0 lead. Hold on, I need to fix up. I need a. God damn it. Team NP. I need to fix up the player logo. Team logo. That's it. There we go. Beautiful. Getting into game number 2. Gonna be on Oceanborn. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, down in this series, hoping to fight back here, hoping to force the ace match. Can he pull it off? We have the teamless Protoss. It is NightMare. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player representing Club NV, leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. And again, these two players, they do go back and forth in series. We've seen NightMare and Creator trade blows week after week, time and time again, whether it's KSL, whether it's ESL Open Cup Asia, whether it's even ESL Open Cup Americas at times as well. Just always facing off, always competing against each other. But how will it unfold this time? So far, a strong game out of Creator. Strong game 1. Now we're easing our way into game number 2. Pro Scouts coming in. Getting across the map. This Creator, he does dip in towards the main base. Likewise, so does NightMare. 2 gate openers from both players, as to be expected. Into a Cyber Core. Into our first 2 units of choice. Whether it's double Adept, double Stalker, Stalker Sentry, even Adept Stalker, which is also viable. We'll see what we're feeling like. We'll see where we go. Remember, last game, both players opened up double Adept, and NightMare was the player that committed into the Stargate into Oracle production. But if you remember, the Oracle was lackluster. Didn't actually do much damage at all. Killed a probe, maybe 2 workers at most, before being shut down. Before being shut down. And once again, okay. Same opener out of NightMare. It is double Adept into a Stargate. It is going to be leading into Oracle aggression 2 games in a row. Hopefully this time, NightMare is a little bit more successful. Hopefully. Meanwhile, we have our first units here from Creator. It's going to be Stalker Sentry, so a relatively safe way to open up. We spoke about it. The power of the Sentry here in the early game is a free scout of your opponent's Fast Hallucination is going to be able to confirm whatever your opponent is up to. Any kind of tech, any kind of greed, any kind of aggression. As Creator is going for his expansion, much faster base here from Creator. Reason for this is because NightMare, of course, invested into his Stargate. Creator invested into his economy. Depths are coming in, but we do wall off. Do fully wall off. Hallucination is moving out. The Stalkers as well. We get a couple of hits in. Hallucination zooming across the map. Likewise, Oracle does pop out. And will come across the hallucination. Oracle has been spotted. Stargate, of course, gets confirmed. And back at home, Creator is setting up defensively. We have a shield battery on the way. Units should be getting in position in the mineral line. Natural is compromised. It's exposed, but there's nothing really here. So we do pull back. We do defend. Oracle gets no damage. Behind this, NightMare working towards his own base and working towards Blink. Again, just like the last game. Same build. Same build out of NightMare. Ooh, as he does collapse on these Stalkers, gets one. Not a bad pickup. Does get one of those Stalkers. Threatens another shade towards the main base to do fully wall off. Does fully wall off as it upside continues to shade here towards that main. Creator, they're not budging. Oracle does dip in. We're gonna get a couple of probe kills at least. A couple of workers. Two probes do fall. Adepts, they're still threatening these bases. This is the thing here. NightMare, he's still looking for more damage. Does get a couple of workers, but ideally he can still threaten those mineral lines. He can still get a lot of damage done with these adepts. There's potential. If at any moment Creator is not paying attention, we can get in. Behind this, NightMare just probing up and croning out those workers as best he can. Does take a worker lead. Creator instead falling behind in his economy. And there we go. We commit to the shade. A bold move out of NightMare. He does focus on one of the sentries. But we'll lose everything else. Yeah, one adept does survive. Shades in between the bases. But one adept doesn't really pose much of a threat. Oh, crap. Oh no! The scout! He doesn't see! The adept barely doesn't get behind the mineral line. And we do not get eyes on the Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is on the way. Do we have any detection? We do. Robo is done. We have access to observers and oracles as well. Like, we have so much work going our way. Oh, NightMare pushing in, does catch a couple units. Creator being greedy behind this, throwing down his third. Throws down to the third base, but NightMare, he's reinforcing. He's reinforcing with more stalkers. He's breaking through. Yeah, collapses on this army. The stasis was huge earlier, and just like that, Creator, he does lose control of this area. But with the defender's advantage, he should be able to hold on to that base. He should hold on to the third. Should. As NightMare is getting into his own third nexus behind this. Dark Templar are warping in. Across the map. Again, unfortunately, we already have the Robo. We have the Oracle back at home. We haven't scouted the Dark Shrine, but we're ready for it regardless. NightMare, he does dive in. He has double the Stalker count of Creator. And this third base, it's going to be cancelled. Again, NightMare, he has the production advantage. He has 4 gateways as opposed to the 2 of Creator. DT does waddle in. Ooh, even forces a recall. Forces a recall here. Revelation does land on both DTs. And both Dark Temple will be shut down, but not before killing 13 probes. Oh my god. Very nicely done. Despite the fact that we had detection available, the reaction was a little bit too late, and Creator, he kills 13 workers, taking an economic lead. The downside is this. Sure, Creator, he has more workers, but NightMare has a third base. He can recover from his worker deficit that much faster, and he can also exceed the economy of Creator, as Creator is still stuck on 2 bases. Still has not been able to expand. He's trying, don't get me wrong. He's trying to expand, trying to take a base, but it is so late. It's so late here, and Creator is going to be pushing out. Again, going to be applying some pressure. He needs to. He needs to try to punish his third base if at all possible. Looking at the units tab. NightMare, he has a Stalker lead. Plus shield battery, overcharge, stasis traps. Yeah, pushing in is going to be a tough ask. Creator going for a proxy though. Getting up to 5 gateways. Can a Creator pull this off? He is going to be rotating around. Oh, the stasis! Big stasis on the army! Again, Creator, he already had... Oh, I was going to say he already had a Stalker deficit, but no, he does take a Stalker lead. Most of that advantage, though, is stuck in the stasis. Yes, here we go. We do go for the dive. Stasis does run out. We do have an overcharge. There it is. Overcharge is Paul Creator. He's committing. He's trying to commit. But alas, the concave is too good. The overcharge as well. And NightMare does force Creator back. He's holding. He is holding on again. NightMare, he has had the better economy for longer. He's been mining for longer. Creator finally gets his own third base up and running. So he is pushing his way in. A much better concave here for Creator. But the Immortal has arrived. Immortals have arrived. So they have 2 here with the main army. Yeah, Stalker's going to be clashing. Again, a better engage overall here by Creator. Does have a massive Stalker lead. He dives on the army. Gets an Immortal. Gets 1. Gets a second Immortal as well. But he's bleeding out a lot of units. Bleeds out a lot of Stalkers. NightMare, he takes an army supply lead. Behind this, working towards our own Robo, Forge, tech in general on the way here for Creator. Creator didn't realize how all in he was. No upgrades, no Robo. It's huge. Meanwhile, the proxy gateway is going to be shut down. Good stuff by NightMare. Taking up 4th base as well, extending his lead. And Creator, he's pivoting away from Blink Stalkers, working towards charge. Charge and +1 all on the way. Speaking of, did we forget? Oh. I think NightMare forgot Charge. Charge is not research for NightMare. I've been double checking. We have a lot of Zealots, but there's slow lots. I don't think this is intentional. NightMare, this is quite a big upgrade actually. Creator barely does miss the prism. Doesn't get it. Man, who needs a slow lot spy? But that's all you need. Vanilla Zealots. Let's go. As we do push towards the would-be 4th base. Trying to force a cancel. At the same time, Creator Key comes in from behind. Does get the prism. Prism goes down. Oh my god. That's another kill. I'm getting deja vu, a bit of a role reversal. That's going to be 2 kills on that base against Creator. 2 dead next eye. Charge now on the way for NightMare. It looks like he has realized that he's missing an upgrade, that these Zealots are slower than they should be. And we are catching up. Yeah, you can see that Chrono getting into it as quickly as possible. Both armies are going to be backing off. NightMare is going to be the first to remax. Remember, he's been on 4 bases for longer. He's had a better economy for longer. Creator, he may be up in probes, but they're long distance mining. Like, they're not mining efficiently whatsoever. So it's a little bit deceiving. As NightMare is now maxed. Creator down 20, 30 supply. Charge is now done. Oh my god, finishes up just in time. Charge has completed. Pushing into Archons, less than ideal. Archons are going ham. So we collapse on the army. Overcharge was popped, but it's about to run out. Overcharge does run out. NightMare rotating away. Catches out the army as well. Much better engage here at a NightMare. The Concave is on his side. We dive on the army. We surround the Archons. The Archons go down. The Immortals as well. And NightMare, he just has an overwhelming army. He's breaking on through. There just is not enough. GG gets called. And NightMare will take game number 2. Tying up the series 1-1. GG. A solid game there. Out of NightMare. Again, he was able to get into additional gateways first, able to punish some of those later expansions of Creator as well. And yeah, really gained quite a lot of momentum in that last game. Creator, unfortunately, was on the back foot. Again, a bit of a role reversal where in game 1, Creator was denying the 4th over and over again. Very similar story here, where because NightMare had map control, because he had momentum on his side, he would just deny that Nexus as often as possible. And as a result, we're now getting into the ace match. We're getting into game number 3. Let's go. It's going to be on Alkione. Oh boy. And we'll see how this story does end as we load into the ace match. And sporting in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have the red Protoss player, who currently teamless, but does have the series 1-1, does force the ace match. Can he go the distance? Can he go all the way? It is NightMare. And sporting in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator. And being forced into the ace match. When it comes to this PvP, I think I would favor Creator overall. I do think that he's the more well-rounded player, but the reality is that NightMare, he is a bit of a PvP specialist. We've seen NightMare bring down players like Hero, like Classic, like Creator as well. PvP seems to be like his stomping ground. I'm still uncertain if what I like more from NightMare, either his PvP or his PvT. Like his Protoss vs Terran is terrifying. It's very impressive, and we've seen him bring down Beyond multiple times, Gumiho multiple times, Cure as well. NightMare is a force to be reckoned with in both of these matchups. Less so in PvZ, but we can get into that later. We can get into that at a later point if we do get into a ZVP here with NightMare. But now, it's all about the PvP instead. And for now, 2 gate openers. Double gate opener here out of NightMare, as well as Creator. Pylon has been thrown down in the main. Likewise, Pylon is also on the way in the main base as well. There is no proxy. No proxy, no one base all-in yet. One base all-ins are still possible, but keep an eye on our players. Don't keep an eye on him. Behind this, here we go. It's going to be a double adept opener out of NightMare. Once again, oh, yo, we're going for the same build. 2 games in this series so far. We've had a double adept opener into a Stargate, into Oracles, of course. Meanwhile, do we do it here in game number 3 as well, as the probe is going to be shut down? Creator going for a Stalker or double Stalker opener himself, setting up for map control. Expansion on the way. NightMare, show us what you got. And it is going to be an expansion. Okay. Double Adept into a Nexus, something more economic at a NightMare, and it makes sense. It does make a lot of sense. Reason why I say that is because of the map. The map is Alcyone. It's a very large map, long rush distance by ground, known for its macro play. Twilight Council will be our tech of choice for NightMare. We should soon be seeing a Twilight Council from Creator as well. We should be. Oh, he's going for a safety shield battery. NightMare, he was denied the scouting earlier, so he's going for a safety shield battery. A little bit wasted this time here for Creator. Good force fields. Good force fields are used, but at the same time, Creator, he breaks through. The shield battery is seconds away from finishing, and it will not be done in time. Another sentry goes down, but the army is forced back. Creator, he does hold on, he does survive. So NightMare holds on, he does survive. Creator reinforcing with another Stalker. Keeping the pressure up, keeping the pressure on. Yet it's still only 2 gateway versus 2 gateway. Good control. Another Stalker falls for NightMare. Oh, and my apologies. I assumed it was going to be Blink, by the way. That is not Blink. That is a Dark Shrine. Oh no. No, every single time we see a player win with DTs in a PvP, I'm always like, it's okay, it only happens like once like every 2 weeks or something. We've casted this quite frequently recently. Like this is like maybe the 3rd or 4th time in 2 weeks. It's assuming that he wins with this. And I'm saying assuming because I don't see a Robo, I don't see a Stargate, I don't see any detection. Not like this. The Dark Shrine is about to finish, and Creator has no idea. We do have sentries though. We do have some sentries. We do need a scout. We have an active army here in the center of the map. We have sentries available. We need a hallucination. But we don't have any. We don't have the energy right now. We need a little bit more time here, and the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be. NightMare, he sets up a proxy pylon. Gateway is on the way. DTs are being warped in. And there's 0 detection. Oh boy. There is 0 detection for Creator. Not like this. Again, this sometimes happens in PvP. And again, usually I say like this happens like once every couple of weeks, but this has been quite common recently, and this is just game. This should just be game. We get a DT in both mineral lines, and there's no way to deal with it. Yeah, probes are going down. GG gets called just like that. NightMare will take the series 2-1. Will advance on to the semifinals. GG, well played. Feels Invisible Man, man. The Invisible Man, sometimes just a little bit too strong in PvP. Again, this is something that does happen from time to time and has been happening a little bit more frequently recently, unfortunately. There is this dynamic, of course, where in PvP, it is not uncommon to delay your robo. It is not uncommon to delay your robo, not uncommon to not have a Stargate, and to not have any detection. And sometimes you can just catch your opponent off guard. Now, a big reason I should emphasize, a big reason why this worked is because it's Alcyone, is because it's a larger map. Remember, we opened up Sentry. We had a Sentry follow-up, I should say. There were hallucination scouts. It was after the scout had died, after it was shut down. That was when NightMare threw down the Dark Shrine. That's why the Dark Shrine wasn't scouted, because we were waiting for it. We saw that the sentries, they didn't have any energy. They could not hallucination scout. NightMare had waited for it to come in before throwing down that Dark Shrine. On top of that, because of this map, because it's so large, because it's so macro-oriented, Creator, he had opted to skip and delay his robo for a faster third. You saw, he had the third base on the way. He was being greedy, he was being economic, and he was punished for it. So there's a couple of different things that led into this. It isn't just like NightMare, he throws down a Dark Shrine, then he wins. There was thought behind it. Like, I do like this build specifically for this map, and I did appreciate that, again, we did wait to throw down the Dark Shrine. We did kind of hide our tech, and we were able to successfully pull it off. GG, well played. With that, NightMare advances on into the semifinals, and a big shout out to Damien in the chat. Damien of 141098. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the emotes. Again, we have some duck emotes in the chat. Quack, papi, quack. And if you want some more benefits, by the way, you can join us on Discord. We do actually release replay packs on Discord with plenty of high quality games from players like Cyril, Rainer, Dark, Hero, Maru. There's plenty of content out there, or plenty of replays that are available in our Discord if you are interested. Replays from events that we cast, from events that we have permission to share, I should say. For example, we don't share KSL replays. The reason for that is because, well, KSL has a Patreon, and a part of that Patreon is to give out replay packs. So we don't want to step on the toes of KSL and their benefits for Patreon. So if you want KSL replays, they got you covered with their Patreon. But for basically all other events, we do share replays over on our Discord to our subscribers if you're interested. But thank you, Papi, thank you. Thank you so much, as we are now getting ready for our next game. We're getting ready for our next series here. We're almost done with the quarterfinals. Almost. We just casted Estrella, Takedown Classic. We just casted NightMare, Takedown Creator. And now we have one matchup left. We're done with the PvPs, for now at least. We're done with the PvPs. We're getting into a ZVT instead. We're getting into Dark versus Hon Mono. Oh, let's go.